Hook your audience with a powerful introduction. I'll start you off with a structure that many business writers, presenters, journalists and authors have used time after time. A good example is the opening 3 paragraphs of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. However little known the feelings or views of such a man may be on his first entering a neighbourhood, the truth is so well fixed in the minds of the surrounding families that he is considered the rightful property of some one or other of their daughters. "My dear Mr. Bennet," said his lady to him one day, "have you heard that Netherfield Park is let at last?" In the example, Jane Austen is following the simple 3-part structure: situation, complication, and question. Situation. Start by briefly spelling out the situation. It's likely that your audience will already know this, and as a result will feel comfortable. However, if your audience feels too comfortable for too long, they will get bored and they will switch off. So we need to move quickly to a complication. Why does this really matter to your audience? You need to raise the stakes. You need to create some form of discomfort. You need to compel your audience to pay attention. Step up your introduction with a question. What happens when we ask a question, even if it's only a rhetorical one? That's right. Our audience's brains click into gear. They either start to answer the question or they start to wonder what the answer is. Either way, this creates a greater level of attention, ready for your answer. And of course, in a presentation, your answer is your central idea. In Jane Austen's novel, the answer is the whole book. My second favourite way to open a presentation is with the AIDA formula to grab attention. You can use the AIDA structure for a whole presentation, using just the A and the I, the attention and interest parts, as your introduction. Or you can use the AIDA formulation as your introduction for a longer presentation. AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. Start with attention. Say something interesting, ask a question, do something that will grab your audience's attention, even if it is nothing more than a contentious statement. Next comes interest. Pique your audience interest by showing the relevance of what you have said to them, either the benefit it can give or the implications that it might have. Critically, note that you should focus the attention and interest parts of your introduction on what your audience wants or needs, not what you have on offer. Next comes D for desire. You have to spark the desire in your audience to hear more. Show them what's in it for them if they pay attention and listen to the rest of your presentation. Promise them that your presentation will meet their desires. And finally, action. Let them know what they need to do to get what they want. And usually, this is your central idea. Both the situation, complication, question and answer format and the AIDA format Both have a point early on which really raises the stakes for the audience. In the Situation-Complication-Question answer format, of course, it's the complication, and in the AIDA format, it's the attention grabber. So what are different ways that you can raise the stakes or grab the attention of your audience? Here are some of my favourites. State something familiar and then undermine it. Make a bold claim, but of course critically one that you can deliver on. Assert something surprising. Make a controversial claim. Or make a provocative remark, although be careful with that one. Try a paradoxical statement, something that sounds as though it can't possibly be true. Or ask your audience a question. Take a poll, a show of hands from your audience that forces them to physically engage with your presentation. Ask for people in your audience who fit a description that is relevant to what you're going to say in your presentation. Tell a brief story or share an anecdote, either a true story or something allegorical. Describe a common experience which will put your audience into a certain mood or emotional state. Describe a scenario and then ask your audience, what would you do? Challenge your audience. Recount a current or recent news story that's relevant to what you're going to be talking about. Give a quotation. Make a demonstration, or better yet, call up an audience member to assist you. Draw an analogy between something familiar and the topic of your presentation. Or make a humorous observation. But of course, be careful with jokes. Unless you're skilled, it's very easy for them to fall flat. The way you open your presentation sets you up. It either sets you up for success or disappointment. By crafting your opening carefully and rehearsing it well, you will set up your presentation to be effective and successful and compelling. The two things you most need to practice and develop carefully are your opening and your close. We'll look at closing your presentation in another video, but for now, use one of these formulae to make sure you give your presentation a powerful opening. Please do give this video a like if you've learned from it or you've enjoyed it. I'll be creating loads more great management content for you, so please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of it. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and in the meantime, keep learning.